Last time we talked briefly about the importance of values and goals in social investing. Today I'd like to share one of our favorite portfolio models to help you understand how different types of investments can be coordinated to maximize both social impact and financial security. But before we get started, I have to remind you that what follows should not be interpreted as investment advice. The Small Hands Fund is a nonprofit dedicated to financial education. We are fellow investors sharing knowledge with other potential fellow investors, not brokers. The investments that are mentioned specifically here are by way of example to illustrate what is out there. We are not recommending them. We believe that any social cause can be funded through social investing, but some causes require a stricter strategy than others. For example, if you want to help the poor, there are hundreds of investments to choose from. Likewise, if you want to help the environment, there are many opportunities. But what about other issues? Meet the Small Hands Stacked Impact Strategy. The idea of this model is to have low-impact investments complement and feed into high-impact investments. It's like attacking a problem from several sides at once. Each attack individually might not do much to affect the problem, but together they fuel real social change. You'll notice this plan has 3 clear levels. Now we're going to go through and explain each level and give examples of what type of investments fit. But we also want to give you an idea of how these levels work together. So let's hop online to the Small Hands Investment Database. Okay, so here we are. Don't worry, we don't need to log in today. We're just going to be using the sample portfolio section. So let's go over here and pick one that sounds good. How about free and fair elections? That certainly doesn't sound like something I can invest in. The first part of the sample portfolio is an explanation about the values and goals that went into designing it. They can be long or short depending on how complicated the issue is. This one is short. Here we see that the portfolio values free press and workers' rights as essential components in building civil society, along with some general economic development, so investments in this portfolio will look to build up those. Our first level of investing is what we like to call baseline funds. Diversity is a key factor in successful investing of any kind. So in this bottom level, we want to build up the portfolio's diversity by using mutual funds. Typically, small hands investors use socially responsible mutual funds. See our previous videos for information about these, that are screened in such a way that fits their cause. But in this portfolio, the 2 funds we have chosen are actually not SRIs. That's fine, but it means that as a social investor, you have to review the fund manager's investing strategy and keep an eye on their assets because these funds do not consider corporate behavior as a matter of policy. The next level of stacked impact is called single stocks and indirect investments. Often there are a few publicly traded companies who through their business are helping solve global problems bit by bit. But because this social good is only a small part of their activities, we can't really expect our money here to have a direct effect. Normally, a portfolio should have 3 or 4 single stock indirect investments. But in this particular portfolio we're looking at now, we only have 1. The reason why this portfolio is so light on this level is because we found so many opportunities for direct investment, and that's really a higher social impact. So that brings us to the next level, the final level, high impact investments. These are investments that go into nonprofits and social enterprises directly building solutions to global problems. Here we have many different investments in this portfolio, but we want to look at 2 specifically. First, let's look at the independent media note. This is basically a savings bond that lasts from 1 to 2 years. You buy a note, and the organization uses your money to make loans to independent newspapers and other media outlets that operate in areas where freedom of the press is in jeopardy. These loans get paid back, and the organization gives you a nice return when your note is fully mature. The other investment I wanted to talk about specifically is the Equal Exchange Certificate of Deposit program. A certificate of deposit is basically a special savings account. CDs are quickly becoming a popular financing solution for nonprofits. They can be set up one of 2 different ways. First is a special fund to loan money to a specific organization, and just that organization. This is what Equal Exchange, a fair trade organization, has done. The money in your CD is lent to them like a line of credit, which they pay back with interest. The second way it can be set up is as a normal CD, where you agree to donate a certain percent of your interest to a specific charity. You'll see an example of this in our next video. But for now, let's go back to the portfolio. At the bottom of each sample, you'll see an estimated initial value of the portfolio if you were to buy all of these investments, and how much of that money is in high-impact investments. Maybe you're thinking, hey, that's not enough. Well, you're right. Financing social change only goes so far if no one actually works for the change. That's why all of our sample portfolios have a special section for doubling impact, with suggestions about ways your club can volunteer and organize social change around this particular issue. So hopefully you've enjoyed this basic look at our portfolio models and are motivated to become a social investor. To keep up to date with what the Small Hands Fund is doing, come find us on Facebook.